Well, it's morning in Werribee, the greater outer Melbourne, and that means it's first day of lockdown again, which is a little depressing. Don't worry, I'm going to be okay. I do really feel for a lot of other people, but I'm just going to focus on my garden, and I have been doing a bit of work on this succulent bed, and I have a big space there because I had removed some cactuses, a Linciana that rotted, some of the imbricatas had got a bit of rot, so I took them out as well. But mainly I took out cactuses because I love cactuses, but I hate cactuses because they hurt, and I've been pricked because I've been in there trying to remove leaves or weeds or whatever, and they've got me good, and I'm over it, so they're out. I went through a cactus stage, and then I realised that because my dogs roughhouse a lot, I have to be very mindful about where I put them so they don't fall into them, and I thought that was a good spot, but it's not, so I'm rethinking that. But anyway, this is an opportunity for me to improve this area, and I'm quite excited about it actually. I wanted to show you these Fred Ives. That I had a problem with mealies, and I've since got that under control with systemic pesticide, but I pinched out the centerpieces that had the damage, and look, these beautiful pups are starting to grow on them. Have a look at this one. It's got pups all the way around, so it'll take a while for them to grow out, and look, they're best, but I'm just going to leave them in there. So anyway, if you're in lockdown or you want some light entertainment, I'm going to video blog what I get up to. This cactus gets to stay. It's very non-threatening and it's very pretty, so I approve. Alright, let's get on with it, shall we? So I'm just up at my front porch, and these are the cactuses that I've removed. That was a really expensive one. It's quite nice, got rot there. I might be able to, recover it somehow. But look at all of these. You can't see them good because they're still full of mud, but a lot of them have thrown off offshoots. And look at this. See, it's even got weeds and grass stuck in it. Look how threatening that one is. It produces some really pretty flowers, and it's a great size, but and there's another one I pulled out. So I have a plan, but I just want to move on from the cactuses, so I just thought I'd show you them. One thing I've realised as I've gotten better at landscaping is that you've got to really pre-plan for what plants do and how their growing capacities. Like this Mexican giant, I had a cactus right there, and obviously it was going to grow into it, so I need to give it as much room as possible, because if we have a look at this other one on this side, on this other succulent bed, you can see it's really outgrowing its space. It's gigantic. It's at least a foot wide, I guess. I don't know. So when I get over to working on this succulent bed, I'm going to take out some of those dieties to give it some space, but it's a good indication, or a good learning experience to pre-plan as much as you can. I mean, obviously you can pull things out and so forth, and that's what I might have to do with that other Mexican giant if it gets too big, but for now it's got a bit of space. So the first one I want to take out of a pot and release into the garden is this. I'll put the name in the video for you. It's really chubby, it's really cute, it's got a little pup, and I suspect it will grow quite big if I let it loose, and it seems like that pot's probably just a little too small for it to grow to its potential. So I'm going to put it in the middle to give it some space, and that's pretty much the spot where the Linciana was, which was huge. It was really big, but I think they'll do really well. And then I'm going to find some things to sort of put around the edges of that mud rock, and that mud rock slab there. I want to put a few succulents growing in front of it. So let's see how we go. So I'm terribly sorry about the glare, but not much I can do about it. See this mud rock here? I have these Echeverias, I believe they're called rainbows, and I just planted one small one there, I don't know, 6 months ago, and it threw off a lot of heads. In actual fact, there were more. There was this one and that one, so these two extras, and they were in here, and you can see these Aeonium kiwis are now sort of grown over them, which is good because it gives it a bit of shade, but I don't want that this time of year. It's winter and they need as much sunlight as possible. But so this was in there, and I got my tweezers and I removed a lot of the dead leaves, because I think that helps lead to rot when it's wet in winter. And so I'm gonna, the best thing about growing in a bed, and when you get pups, is you can just start spreading them around. So I could put them here, but I have this ground cover thing, and it went nuts last winter, really did, and it grew over the rock and over this rock and started interfering with other things, and I ripped out most of it, but it has the survivor spirit, and it's come back, and I might just sort of leave it there because it's got a really nice green jelly, I don't know, vibrant green carpety look about it when it's really flourishing. So if I were to just kind of continue this line and put it here, these two will end up interfering. So I'm thinking I might move these over onto the other side of the mud rock. Just I want to make a point about this too. So about the pre-planting, kiwis can get quite shrubby. So, it is its growing season. This was just a little cutting. It seriously was just, about 3 heads, and that was, I don't know, maybe a month ago, and it's really doing really well. So I know this will I'm trying to show you, get some height and actually raise above this. So eventually it might actually help create shade around here when summer does come back, but unfortunately Aeonians don't do well in summer, so it'll be interesting to see how that works. But I'm confident this will get height and free up this to, do a little bit better. So I popped in that green pot there. I've put some granules of systematic pesticide in the soil a bit. I'm not going to top dress anything properly and finish it off until I really fill in this space. So let's put these little heads on the other side next. Okay, so I've just pretty much just sat them there and just to fill it out. Nothing is going to get planted firmly and permanently till I figure out where everything's going. So this is fun. Okay, so check out this pot with the Fan Aloes. I'm contemplating using both of them or just one of them. I think I'll just take the bulb. My husband's quite fond of this and he likes it in the pot, but I know, look, there's some new leaves in there. I know this can do better. It will like it better in the ground. A friend of mine bought one at the same time. And hers, she's popped it in the ground and it has really flourished. So, that's why I want to do this. But I have to compromise because my husband likes this pot. So I'm just going to steal that baby and tough titties hubby. Alright, that came out pretty easy. I just sort of grabbed it from there and just tugged it out. And we got some roots, which is really good. Broke that one. So I'm just laughing to myself about what my husband's going to think. Is he going to notice? Let's do a bit of a dodgy fix up. Mine. It's cute. It's really cute. So it'd be a good test to see how well this does released into the ground. So there it is. I've actually swapped them around. That big chubby one was in that spot, and I decided that would probably do better there, or look better. And there's those little rainbow pups so far. Hey, there's this lady who's just like parked her car and she's been sitting there across the street for forever, and it's really making me feel weird about filming. But you know what I love? My neighbour, she's on the phone in the yard and she just goes up and taps on her window and says, "Are you right? Do you need some help?" But I really like that. That's good neighbourhood watch. But I don't know what she said. I couldn't hear her. Anyway, okay, enough of the street gossip. Okay, bye. On to the next, I'm in a different section of my garden, and see these are Echeverias, a really beautiful blue colour they are. I'll include the name. It has a Latin name. I think it means blue in Latin. I'm not pronouncing names, you know I don't like doing that. But I want to achieve this sort of look. See how it's growing over there into the mud rock. That's my Fan Aloe, side note. Yeah, so I've got some of this stuff growing in another spot that I'm going to pinch them from. I might actually show you some more happening over there. I'm a little embarrassed. See, these are all maple leaves. This is a maple tree here. It's dropped its leaves, so this section needs a lot of work too. So there's this little spot. It's near the front window, and this is where I'm going to pinch those spreading Echeverias. And this is actually a spot that I'm going to redo and make a little cactus garden. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that I've got plenty of them to steal from, so I'm going to just go rip out a bit now. So there's two nice clumps here, and I just sort of tested it out, and this whole thing is going to lift up so easy. Be prepared. I can feel it already. There is going to be stacks of dry leaves. I wouldn't even be surprised if we find mealies. Let's have a look. There you go. Look how easy that come out. Dry leaves, yeah. At first glance, no mealies, so that's good. That's very good. Right, I'm going to clean this up and see if we can incorporate it into the space we're working on. So I've just been sitting here on my rocking chair and pulling out all the dead leaves out of that clump that I just pulled up, and they've cleaned up pretty well. There's lots of new growth happening under there, so they're going to really flourish. There was some mealies, but I was expecting that, and they were really just in the dead leaves. Look at all that. That's a lot of dead stuff that was stuck in there. So that's the habitat they like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spray underneath here with some conifer, the systemic pesticide in that sort of region, not in here, because they're not in here, and I don't want to damage the farina or just their aesthetics. And I'll put some granules in the soil, and I think that will keep them at bay for a while. So this is a pretty good haul. Let's go put them in the mud rocks. So I've just rested them up against the mud rock, and I'm going to need some fresh soil because I want them to be flush with the height of the mud rock, and so they're going to need some support. But that's generally the idea of what I want to achieve. And we saw there was lots of pups under there, so they will start to clump and move around, which makes me think about these little seps here. they might start to interfere, and they're kind of getting a little lost in there. I might rethink them as well. I'm going to call it a day because I'm really not sure what my next move is after I fix those with some dirt. So I shall see you guys probably tomorrow with part 2, part 3, part 4. Okay, have a good one. Bye guys.